In the run-up to 2024, use your brain. Refugees are produced. There are certain conditions that lead to the production of refugees. They don't just appear in a vacuum. People who are in power today and the discourse that is in power today are experts in wasting the time of the nation.
You're a great advocate for people, for issues. Will that advocacy turn into mainstream politics in 2024 or in the near future?
Electoral politics?
Yeah. Swara, thanks for joining us today. I'm just going to do like 2 to 3 quick questions. The first question, after attending our event, after hearing refugees speak and experts speak, what is the one thing or 2 things that you have really understood about refugees that you didn't know before?
So I think the 2 big takeaways or the big moments for me was one, listening to Farhana speak, who is the Rohingya refugee, the 19-year-old girl who's very inspiring, who's a community leader already, and she's gotten a scholarship to go study abroad, which is lovely. And she answered that question about what is the ambition, personal ambition of refugees. And she said, we'd love to be able to educate ourselves, but we cannot because we don't have Aadhaar cards. So I had not made that link between how critical documentation is. And we are now living in a world where we can literally deny people basic rights of life because they don't have documents. We've seen that happen in India also with the CAA-NRC.
Yeah.
And the other was very interesting, listening to Professor Zarni speak, and where he said that refugees are produced, that there are certain structures and there are certain conditions that lead to the production of refugees. They don't just appear out in a vacuum. That was very interesting. And then he said that historically, it is the mono-ethnic, mono-racial, mono-faith state that creates refugees, right? Political entities that cannot deal with diversity.
Since you mentioned the CAA-NRC, and a lot of people believe that it is discriminatory, it is exclusionary. Why do you consider it a win, and what do you think going forward should be the mobilization for it?
I know that we are taught to think that the CAA-NRC protests failed, but frankly, that is not true. If you just look at empirical fact, those protests enabled 12 state governments to pass or encouraged 12 state legislatures in India to pass anti-CAA-NRC resolutions. Some of these, like the JDU in Bihar, were allies of the BJP.
We have seen you on the streets out walking with Rahul Gandhi in the Bharat Jodo Yatra. We are just 15 months away from the Lok Sabha elections. What are the things that you personally think, should be the issues we should be talking about?
Well, I think it's really important in the run-up to the 2024 election to kind of make sure that the conversation in the mainstream and the common sense remains focused on issues that actually affect your life, like inflation, like unemployment, like the prices of oil and gas and diesel, and not on non-issues like what color of clothes some actress was wearing in a song. And if you want to talk about nationalism, talk about what's happening on our borders with an aggressive neighbor in China. I think the opposition is waking up to that a little bit, and I think in some sense that's what the Bharat Jodo Yatra is trying to do. They'll always construct a new kind of enemy before an election, and then get us all distracted by that enemy. Please don't fall unthinkingly for anything you hear. Like, use your brain. Like, I think that is the takeaway in the run-up to 2024. Use your brain. That's all. That's all the request is.
Dr. Zarni said that national security is used as a tool. So
yeah,
I think
we've seen that in India.
Yeah. You're a great advocate for people, for issues. Will that advocacy turn into mainstream politics in 2024 or in the near future?
Electoral politics?
Yeah.
Not in 2024, I can tell you that for sure. Yeah, but never say never, I guess. I don't know.
Thanks, Swara. You're absolutely wonderful to talk to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.